Okay, hello. Okay, so here's the commentary bit on the last video, on the second sermon video from Pastor Chris Rogers. And yeah, that's up there. I always get it backwards. Up there. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, please go do that first. It'll make a lot more sense if you do. Yeah. Okay, so things on that. Okay, so a couple of different definitions that he put in there were we are worshiping something that we have elevated to a place of power in our lives. That's what worship is. Elevating something to a place of power in our lives. And true worship is a valuing or treasuring of God above all things. And I mean, it's great. My favorite verse, I think I mentioned it in a different video. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. What means the most to you? I know I have a hard time with this sometimes, because it's difficult when you have people around you who have needs. I feel that I value Kirsten and Joshua so much because they're people. They have tangible needs. They have things that I can do for them. So it's easy for me to get caught up in putting them first. Because God doesn't need anything from us. It's a different way of loving. But you still have to figure out how to do that. I mean, obviously one of the first things is spending time with God. It's praying. And praying has always been a weird concept for me too. And sometimes it doesn't seem right to pray the way you hear everyone else pray. For me especially. I've always had this really vivid imagination. So sometimes when I pray, I feel like it's almost like I'm talking to an imaginary person, because I do that and it's fun. But again, that's almost idolatry if you aren't putting your prayers to God. If you're setting your prayers to an idea of God, that still isn't good enough. So God is a person. He's an actual being who loves you and wants what's best for you. And yeah, I'm going to go back to that question now at the very end. So, question is, do you love God for who He is, or do you love God just because He saved you from death? Is your relationship with God based solely on gratitude for Him saving you, or does it go deeper? Do you love God? Do you value and treasure Him because you have come to experience just how wonderful He is? And do you, I don't know, the first thing you need to do, if you don't already, is believe that Christ died for you. Just for you alone. That He would have come to earth and been beaten and killed and would have given up His life just for the chance to spend eternity with you. So that is the foundation of faith, if you don't believe that yet. Well, you should, because it's true, it's all true. He has shown us how to live. He has given us a way to live. And it's so much better than anything anyone else could come up with. But that's not it. That's not loving God, accepting that, it's the first step. That is the start of redemption. But after that, then you need to learn how to love God, because just admiring his sacrifice for you isn't love. Then you have to learn all the wonderful things, you have to experience all the wonderful things God does. Go outside, watch the sunset, and you see a glimpse of God's beauty, because this is God's hands, this is the work of God's hands. You can see, it's almost like you can see the stars reflecting in his eyes. You see the world through as he made it. I don't know how to paint this. I don't know how to describe this. Okay, so see what God has made. Look at people. Look at their lives and their joy. See the smiles on kids' faces and how the peace and joy that they have in life. That's from God. That is the joy that God wants from us. That's what he hopes for us all to have, even as we lose that innocence of childhood. And then look at the works God has done in your life. He has done so much. All the things God has aligned so you can be alive and have people who love you, because there are always, always people who love you, even if you can't see them. And then you'll come to love God, and make sure that that love for him precedes everything else. Don't put any of those things that you see, the nature or the people, don't put God's creation before the Creator. He is love, and we can't see him, and that makes it so terribly difficult, but it's wonderful at the same time. It's a journey to love God. It's amazing. It's an adventure, and it's beautiful. Yeah. And so if you leave it just at recognition of what God has done for you, there's always going to be that distance between you and God. There's another bit here that he wrote. There's a distance between you and God such that you do not understand who he is and what he has done for you. And because of that distance, you have elevated something or someone to a place in your life that you value whatever it is more than God, because you have lost sight of the God who is the giver of all gifts. So, the love is a relationship, and you can't build that relationship with God if you're putting your hopes in everything else. God's love is absolutely incredible. He is the God of second chances, of trying again whenever you open yourself up to it, and it's just beautiful. There are no words to describe this. So think on that, pray on that. What is in your life that you put above God's love? Because there's always something, or at least something that comes close, and make sure it always stays below your love for God. Yeah. Okay, I love you very much. Goodbye.